right, everybody, welcome back to the Wood Chip Challenge, episode 4, All Out of Chips. So, if you've watched through or have you seen the other first three, this challenge was to see if I could make $50 million chipping wood on the Deadwood logging map, which after episode 3, we realized we can't possibly do that in the amount of time that I have to play, or more importantly, nobody's going to want to watch a grind, literally grinding wood nonstop for about 37 or 45 playing days. I forgot what it was because I made the mistake of using the math on good economy for what the price of chips were on the peak season in January. And it was less than half of that on hard economy. So I really didn't do a good job starting this by knowing what the price of the chips were going to be on the hard economy. So I set a goal that wasn't reachable. So my goal changed to really just trying to make a series of videos and getting through it and working on editing and recording and trying different things. And this leads us to episode 4, All Out of Chips, which will be the last episode, as I promised from the last one, if anybody has seen those. So I wanted to do this one as quick as possible, and my goal was to just chip wood through the fall into the winter time when the chips were at their best price of, I believe, $544 a liter, or how much. And this is mostly a time lapse video of me doing that. I spent all my time in this one area on the Deadwood logging map, and I just started logging in semicircles using the processor. And as I learned from episode 3, testing the different ways to, cut the trees, chip the trees, and then unload the trees, I found the cast chipper was really one of the fastest ways to do it without having, an auto load trailer attached to a tractor trailer next to another processor, and grinding it that way using the backhoe with the grapple, taking them out of the truck and dumping them into the big Beavinator chipper. So I switched to this. I would chop down the trees in a semicircle from one side to the other. And then once I got done at that side, I would grab the cast chipper and I would work my way back around the semicircle, chipping and then depositing the chips into the underground silo. It took quite a long time, and it was a very tedious process of back and forth and back and forth and grinding and dumping. It was mind numbing. But what I noticed while doing it, funny enough, is that the frame rate, I wasn't paying attention to the actual numbers, but it literally dropped down to a potato by the time I got towards the end of the semicircle of those cut trees. So towards the end, to save myself that, I did about half. Just got really to play the game with it running like that. I wanted to try something different to make it as interesting as possible, watching chips get made out of logs. So I tried to do an actual time lapse instead of just recording and then speeding it up by 3 or 4 or 5 speed. And I did that by putting a light tower up, which I had to do anyway for light to grind around the clock. And I took the drone mod, and I landed the drone on top of the light. And about every 8 minutes, I would go switch back to the drone and I would record for 5 seconds. And it worked really good. But I figured that out towards the end of my game session that night, saved it and turned it off. And when I came back the next day and started again, the drone was on the ground and I could not get it back on the light. So I had to basically take it off and hover next to the light and then try to give myself markers so I would get the same frame every time. And you can see at the very beginning of that time lapse. Um, it was real bad. You could see it was kind of all over the place, and I had a really tough time getting that to work. But I finally got a good spot, and it turned out okay. I think for the first try. I'd like to do it again and find a better way to do it. I'll keep playing with that because I think it's a pretty cool shot that you don't really see in these videos people are making. They're just speeding the game up and doing time lapse that way. But I think I really wanted to do a time lapse of the trees disappearing. So I'll keep playing with that, and when I get it down better, I'll put it in videos later on. The other big issue I had making this and putting it together is my limited knowledge on CapCut and trying to get the two videos masked together. I either had the aspect wrong or it was one thing or the other. I was struggling really hard. And, so you see the final cut there is really just me getting kind of frustrated and running out of time, not just personally, but my significant other, twisting my arm to finish this up because the time it took me to grind from, I think it was August or September through till January was an insane amount of time because I had it on either 3 speed or 2 speed and trying to get as much chips as I could to get as close as I could at the end to 50 million. And it just drug on too long and it got to where I didn't even want to do it. And it got to the point to where I was avoiding doing it. It was taking me about 2 weeks to do the other videos, and this one will go out in just shy of 4 weeks. It was just too monotonous. Trying to come up with ideas to make it not be so bad for the viewer and for myself was really what kept me going on making it that, and I've got to finish it. I started it. But again, it's all learning. I'm learning how to record when I'm playing, just to be creative. It's what I want to do. But I will definitely in the future plan something a little better than this. I'm going to go just to like a normal challenge or role play. I've got an idea for one that's has been done many times, but it'll be my own. Just starting out with nothing and maybe just an axe and just trying to build an empire. I haven't decided what map to do it on yet. I mean, I like this map a lot, and I'd like to do another video on this map, maybe including the mine. I think I mentioned that before, but I think I want to use one of the regular FS22 maps and do something on there. I just want to have fun playing it, and I'll probably do it like I would normally do. This kind of took me outside of that, where I play for about an hour and a half at a time, a couple times a week, and then just make a 30-minute video out of each one of those, and hopefully produce something better than this. My goal here was just to have something that I'm proud of um, accomplishing or having accomplished. Am I proud of this series? I'm proud of things and parts of it. Um, but I'm going to keep studying, keep watching more videos and how to's. And I really need better at transitions and timing and stuff like that. So I'm going to be working on that a lot before the next video, but it'll be a new format. I'm doing a better intro and stuff like that. I've already got in the works. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about getting off of this grind and starting a new empire over and having fun with it. I'm definitely leaning towards the role play side of it. So we'll see how that goes. And in the meantime, on this map, it was a lot of, like I said before, grinding, going back and forth and back and forth. I got so tired of driving this tractor trailer back and forth that it was really the hardest part became remembering to hit record and stop. Um, it was just like I was in auto hypnosis back and forth, back. And I missed it a few times, and it threw a couple things out of whack. Or I would forget to hit the record button and turn it off, and I'd have 5 minutes of everything back and forth. I had to change the trailer to this one because the 60,000 liter trailer was just taking too long. I just couldn't do it. So I went and bought this trailer, which is 100,000 liters, but it's not a magic trailer, I don't think. I know there's one where they'll hold, I think, up to 500,000 liters. So I try to keep it as realistic as possible as you can be in a game, I guess. And it was still super annoying going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I think I had to get fuel 2 or 3 times. That's how many trips I made. I think when I timed it, my best run, I was able to do 3 loads an hour, maybe 4. Um, with this one, the real hiccup was the unloading. It takes 100 and or no, excuse me, it takes 100 seconds. It's a liter a second to unload this thing. So um, it's a lot. You know, minute 40 for every time you're unloading, and probably more time than it takes to drive there and drive back and load. It takes to unload this trailer. So that got to be a huge. I would stop paying attention and literally run into the silo and have to back up and redo it. Should have done a bloopers outtake of how many times I wrecked this truck just from losing interest of driving it. But my dedication to finishing this is what got me through it. Couldn't stand having this out there or not done. It would bother me. So wanted to learn more doing it. And I'd love any feedback, which brings me to the point where I would love if somebody would bite the bullet and take one for the team and just give me a subscription, give me a subscribe, a like, and a comment. Even if it's a bad comment, just let me know somebody's out there. I don't blame you for not watching these all the way through. They're amateurish at best. I'm learning, I'm trying to make them better, but just a little encouragement. I did sit through many, many, many hours doing this uh, for the one person watching. So give me a subscribe and a like and a comment. That would be awesome. We're coming up to the end of the grind, delivering the last bit of wood chips to the seller here. And we'll see what we'll have. It wasn't a lot, man. It just was not a lot. So here we have all the vehicles we used in this challenge. Some of them were on the map to begin with, and some of them I leased, and some of them I purchased. Go through them real quick. We have the Beaver Raider. Thing could chip some wood, but it was hard to load. We had the overhead gantry claw excavator thing, and that thing was impossible, but I think it'll work really good with a truck with like an auto load trailer. This processor is great, really, for getting in tight spaces. I loved it. This thing was okay. It was kind of a pain to use though, that chipper. Could have done it without the Mac and the 100-liter trailer. This track hoe with the clamp on it was really great, and of course the tree stump grinder to clear so we could have smooth, and then of course my favorite, the cats. Here we are. This is the end. We'll look and see what we actually made after we turn in all the leased vehicles and pay back the loan. Here are all the leased machines. I'll turn them back in and then I'll purchase them all and see what we have left. Go through them a little bit here. Some of those are really good, fun machines to use. I really do like them. And these are the owned items. Again, some of these were on the map to start with, but now we've purchased all of the leased vehicles we got rid of, and we're left with not a whole lot of money. You might have caught it there, 950, 524. It ain't a lot. Uh, some of those vehicles were expensive. Some of them were a mistake. I tried them and they just didn't work. I wish I would have tried them off map and not done it. It would have been a little better. This is what we're left with. These are the vehicles that we owned. to start with. And these are the vehicles that we had leased that we turned around and purchased to give us our final amount. So the only thing we have left to do is pay back our loans, which I ended up having to take another loan because I ran out of money, and see what we're left with. So repay, repay, repay. 825,524. It's not a lot. It's definitely cold that day. No money in the bank. So there you have it. 5,295,000 liters, $2,633,000 for a total profit of $825,524. So that was it. I appreciate you guys for watching. Wasn't a very exciting video, but I do appreciate y'all being here. If you stayed, awesome. Hopefully it's more than just one or two of my friends. Subscribe, like, share. Take care.